With the incredible success Nintendo's had with their NES Mini and SNES Mini, it's no surprise Sony would want to throw their hat into the ring with their new PlayStation Classic, but is this version of the iconic PlayStation worth buying, or is it just overpriced nostalgia? Anyone who owned the original PlayStation back in the 90s will definitely feel nostalgic straight away. Both consoles look almost completely identical to each other in design with a few obvious exceptions. The new PlayStation Classic is 45% smaller than the original PlayStation. There's also now an addition of an HDMI port, which will output video in 720p and an optional 480p setting for those of you that want to get a more closer retro viewing experience. 720p is definitely a much higher resolution compared to the original PlayStation's output, but kind of low by today's standards. The other major difference is the lack of CD support. Obviously, the console's too small to play full-size discs, so the disc door does not open, but one thing that is pretty cool is that instead of the open button being a dummy or dead button, it's actually functional. The open button will be used to swap virtual discs for games that require multiple CDs, such as Final Fantasy VII. Other confirmed games that will come preloaded onto the PlayStation Classic are the 3D platformer Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, one of my all-time childhood favorite fighting games of all time, Tekken 3, and the RPG game Wild Arms. So far, only these 5 games have been confirmed by Sony out of a total of 20 preloaded launch games. It's a decent mixture of games with something for everybody. Let me know in the comments down below what games you would like to see preloaded onto the PlayStation Classic. Personally, I'd love to see Metal Gear Solid, Spyro, Resident Evil, and Tomb Raider. The console will come packaged with 2 wired replicas of the original PlayStation controller, so no analog or vibration support, just like the originals. It will also come with an HDMI cable and a micro USB, which will carry power to the console. Unfortunately, you will have to provide your own USB AC adapter. It only needs a 5V 1A USB AC adapter, so pretty much any cell phone power brick should work. You can also power it off most modern TVs that have built-in USB ports. So it's not a deal breaker, but come on Sony. With the price tag of $99.99 US, it wouldn't make you go bankrupt to chuck in a USB AC adapter. There are a few unknowns yet to be announced, such as what's behind the plastic cover on the back, and if there will be any way of officially adding more games onto the console. It would be a smart move on Sony's end if they had a PlayStation Classic specific store, and would set them apart from Nintendo's retro mini consoles, since the only way to add games onto those is by hacking them. So, is the PlayStation Classic worth it? Well, I think it's a great way to experience retro gaming in modern times, if executed properly. Definitely hits that nostalgia spot, and a great way to expose old classics to those of you that are too young to have grown up playing these iconic games. But at that price tag, I think it's a bit too much. If you look around, you could find the original PlayStation with a bunch of games for less than $100. Granted, they won't look as good on modern TV sets due to their lower resolution, but if you already own a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, those PS1 classics from the PlayStation Store are optimized to look better on modern TVs. Still, I'll freely admit this, if I saw one available at my nearest money-grabbing GameStop store, I wouldn't hesitate to buy one. The choice is ultimately up to you if it's worth it or not. With all these retro remakes of classic consoles, I may just make my own Raspberry Pi all-in-one console. It would make one hell of a tutorial if you guys want to see that. But for now, I want to know what you think. So share your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for future videos. And until next time, this has been GTRBYtes.